All right, guys, welcome back to the Online Coaching Business Podcast. We are stoked for today's episode because we're going to be talking about three things. We're going to be doing a niche Q&A. We're going to be talking about new mentor search, and then also starting lifestyle vlogs.
Fired up.
I'm super fired up, but before we get into it, just in case you don't know who we is, we are Jess and Jeff, and we're a couple of online business coaches, and we built 2 six-figure coaching businesses, both within 90 days, completely organically, and now we're planning on scaling to 100K months and taking you along for the ride, so we're stoked you're here for it.
Super fired up.
Super fired up. So who should be watching this, Jay?
Good question. Who would get the most out of this?
Yeah, who would get the most out of these episodes?
I feel like anybody would be able to laugh at us.
Yeah, if you want a good time, tune on in.
But I think there's 2 types of people that would really get the most out of it. Mm-hmm. It's number 1, coaches or aspiring coaches that are looking to hit 10K to 50K plus months organically. Mm-hmm. Then we're just going to be dropping little nuggets along the way that have worked for us. I think you guys will really get something out of it. And then also big swinging dicks or chicks. We say that affectionately, as you guys know.
Love you guys.
If you're already making 7+ figures and you want a little walk down memory lane, so to speak, you can watch us and be like, oh, I remember when I was trying to make my first 100K plus months. I think those are the 2 audiences.
Oh, yeah, that's a good vibe. Sweet. So should we jump into it now?
Let's jump right in.
So first, we're going to talk about niche Q&A. So I'm going to pull out the handy dandy phone here because I asked you guys on stories what you wanted us to talk about on the podcast. And niche came up big time. So let me just find that for us here. Sorry, gotta go down, scroll down memory lane here. 1 second. Got it. Okay, so you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of the niche messaging king, so I feel like this would be a little heavily weighted onto you.
I think we could both share our insights on it.
Okay, so I have 3 questions for this topic.
Okay.
Okay, first question. When to niche down?
You want to just maybe read all 3? Are all 3 of these from one person?
Yeah, so here, I will read all 3. I'll read all 3 first. So, when to niche down, how to not pigeonhole yourself, and is being broad bad, in quotes.
These are all from the same person?
All from the same person.
So it was when to niche down, how to not pigeonhole yourself, and then the last one is being too broad bad.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to ask for context for this person, but high level, want me to take this first?
Yeah, you take the lead because you are the master.
Okay, so here's how I'd answer this based on the context of the person asking. So let's say that the person asking is just starting from scratch. They've got no experience, or maybe they have a little bit of experience, but they haven't started their coaching business yet. For those people, I would say 100% dial in your niche and get as specific as possible. What was her second question, or his second question?
How to not pigeonhole yourself.
You want to pigeonhole yourself when you're just starting off right there, because if you're trying to talk to everybody, you're really talking to nobody, and you have no street cred yet. The reason why like a Tony Robbins or like a Marie Forleo or an Amy Porterfield, they're able to be this broad business coach or broad life coach is because they put in the work. They got like 20 years of street cred.
Yeah.
If you're just starting off, you don't. And so that could be the vision that you're working towards. But the first steps of that path, so to speak, would be to hyper niche. I'll give you an example. Like when we always like to use fat loss as an example, or fitness coaches, just because it's simple for us all to like visualize. So we had this fat loss coach who came to us, and she was struggling to sell $200 a month memberships. Why? It's because she was trying to appeal to everybody. She didn't want to pigeonhole herself. And so then she talked to us, and we're like, hey, here are all the benefits of pigeonholing herself. And she got fired up. She's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to listen to Jeff and Jess and pigeonhole myself for a month. Guess what? We dialed her in. This is Brenna. She came to us as a broad health coach. We turned her into a fat loss coach specifically just for RDHs, registered dental hygienists. Super pigeonholed, right?
So niche. So
super
pigeonholed.
Niche.
She's the pigeon in the hole for sure.
Yeah. And so before this, she was like living on a prayer. You know what I mean? She was just like looking for heartbeat kind of marketing. Then what happened was within 2 days, she had closed her first client.
Within 2 days.
Yeah, this is organically. So the cool thing is when you hyper niche, when you do pigeonhole yourself, at least at first, it's such a good thing when you're starting from scratch, because then people are crystal clear on who you help and if you can help them, you know, what you got. And so what happens when you really hyper niche at first is everyone who's in your existing audience or who comes to your social profiles in those first couple days, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what this person does and how they can help me. You're the custom tailored fit. You are
Exactly.
the custom tailor. I just need to say it again. You are the custom tailored fit. Everybody's looking for that custom tailored fit. Heck, we're always looking for the custom tailored fit.
Yes. And also niching down like that, pigeonholing yourself, you're able to command a higher price point, which is super important too.
So, was the second question, is it bad to hyper niche?
Yeah, let me just pull it back up.
Is it bad to...
Is being broad bad? So now
Is
we're
it-
going
no,
the opposite direction.
What's the second question?
How to not pigeonhole yourself.
Okay, so again, if you're making under 10K a month, 100% pigeonhole yourself.
Yes.
It will, and so what we did with Brenna, at least, is for the first month, she was a fat loss coach for registered dental hygienist. Then after month 1, she's like, okay, I want to broaden it out a little bit. Cool. At that point, we'd got some clients in the door. She'd already scaled to about 10K a month, right there, really, really fast. And so we're like, okay, let's broaden it up to just fat loss. At this point, she had earned the right. You guys see that? Did I explain that pretty well?
Yeah, I think so.
Or we got Judy, for example.
Yeah.
She started off as a health coach. We turned her into a fat loss coach, just a postpartum fat loss coach. And then from there, she earned the right to become a prenatal health coach and then a general fat loss coach as well. So now she has 3 offers. So she could custom tailor it to anyone that she's talking to.
Exactly.
So yeah, the more custom tailored you can make your coaching, the better it is. Like, heck, Jess and I mean, we're going to touch on this a little bit later.
Yeah.
But we're looking for the custom tailored fit for a coach for us right now, or a mentor for us right now. And we're like, who can meet our needs exactly? Who is ideally a couple
Yeah.
making 100K plus months that factor in lifestyle, that don't do business for business's sake. We got a laundry list of things that we're looking for. But if we could find that, they're the custom tailored fit for us.
100%. Yeah, that was a great explanation. And so then just to touch on the last one, which is being broad bad?
No, so if you're making well over 10K a month, then you could go, and it depends on how big your audience is or how much you want to spend on advertising, if you want to spend money on advertising. So I guess we could lump those two things together into access to a large distribution channel. If you have access to a large distribution channel, whether you're looking to spend a bunch of money on ads or you've got a huge audience via email or Instagram or YouTube, for example, then it kind of could pay for you to broaden out a little bit.
But again, that takes having that access.
It takes having that access, yeah. So black or white, if you're making under 10K and you have a small audience, hyper niche.
Charge higher prices. And then, if you have access to a big audience, and you're ready to go broad, you're making over 10K.
Well, ideally well over 10K.
Well over. Then, you've stabilized at making over 10K. You're not fluctuating and dipping down and
ideally over 50K too. But if you are really feeling the pull to go broad, then you can. I don't think you would though at that point. So let's go back to when we first started.
Yeah.
Because I had the same thoughts. I think we both had the same thoughts. It's I kind of let's just back up. If you're starting from complete scratch, then you're just looking for a heartbeat at this point. Then once you get a client or two, and maybe they're in different niches, then you're like, technically I could work with everybody. At that point, you're kind of a Swiss Army knife, and that's a really tough spot to be in when you can help everybody. That's a really tough spot. I was stuck in that spot for a really long time.
So was I.
And I was kept on hitting a 25K to 30K ceiling. You were very similar.
Same thing, yeah.
And because it's at that time it was consulting and stuff like that. So it's it's a dentist, it's a chiropractor, it's a med spa or whatever. It
also makes a business, running your business, very difficult because you can't really streamline anything.
Right. And so if I could go back in time and talk to old Jeff, which is maybe some of you guys watching are old Jess, it's once you have that initial success, just narrow your focus, stay hyper niched. That way you can make things so much easier. You don't have to learn how to do whatever your skill is for all these different business types. You could just productize your one offer, streamline it, and then it makes looking for more clients very simple. It's because you're crystal clear on who they are.
Yep.
You just laser target them, and then you could scale that up. And then if you want to get fancy after that, for business's sake, you can. But if you're watching this, you're probably in business, not for business's sake, but for lifestyle. And so if you're in it for lifestyle, well then keep that in focus.
Yes.
So if you're making some money, then that's literally if we had to zoom out, you're making some money. Okay, cool. Then your question is, would be like, oh, should I go, since I can help everybody right now, should I try to keep helping everybody, or should I hyper niche? Well, the answer would be like, well, it depends how much you want to work, honestly.
So true.
If you want to make more and work less, hyper niche. Work with only one specific type of client, scale that up, go enjoy your life. If you want to flex your marketing and sales muscles and your business muscles, you could walk down this path. It's going to be a lot more work. Depends on what you want. But if I could talk to old Jeff or Jess, I'd say go this path.
I would agree with you. I would tell Jess, hey, do this sooner. Take this path sooner. That was a great answer, Jay.
Thanks.
I don't even think I need to like add any flair to that. You kind of mic dropped it.
We're just kind of talking it out together.
Yeah. Again, these are raw, uncut. So you're like getting the real thought process too, which I think is really fun. Okay, cool. I think that answers that. Any more questions on niche? Throw them in the comments.
Yeah, or you could hit up Jess for the best niches of 2023. We've been giving out to some people who've been interested in working with us.
We also have a 2-part series in our 30-day series that touches on how to find your online coaching niche. So I highly suggest going back to those videos, part 1 and part 2, just to get started on finding your online coaching niche. They're great videos. Sick. Okay, so next topic, you kind of already touched on it, and it is new mentor search.
Maybe you take the reins on this one. And
nice.
Why are we on a new mentor search?
So we are on a new mentor search because first, we have invested in a mentor, correct? But we are not moving as fast in our business as we had hoped in the beginning. We invested in this mentor because of a specific offer, and we haven't gotten the deliverables from that offer. So this was back in January, and we're now in April. And back in January, we were looking to go pretty hard and fast.
I think we paid in December.
You're right, we paid in December. But we were supposed to start in January. And so we were like ready to go. But we're kind of now 4 months in, and it's obviously not hard and fast because we're 4 months in and we haven't received those deliverables on that offer we invested in. And so amazing mentor, amazing guy. Nothing against him at all. However, we just want to find a mentor that is on the same speed and wavelength as us. Would you agree?
Same speed and wave. What do you mean by that?
Well, same speed where we want to go hard and fast and get, like if we're going to purchase an offer where we want to get a result within the time frame they set, let's say, it's within the first month, first 2 months, we could get the result that we purchased. Like that's what we want to do.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. And then we also want there to be not like urgency, but just like we love moving hard and fast and breaking things. And so we want to have someone that pushes us to do that rather than slows us down in that regard, because we're like ready to go. Yeah. And so then one last point on this is we need guidance, obviously, which is why we're looking for a mentor. And so when we don't have the deliverables that we've invested in, we don't know what questions to be asking. And so it becomes unclear for us as to like, okay, so we aren't clear on which direction to go. So we don't really know which questions to ask, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I could kind of paint the other pieces of this picture to kind of fill in the blanks a little bit.
Fill in the blanks for me.
Yeah, so what we bought is just not what we got. It's literally as simple as it. Nothing against the dude. Really nice dude.
So nice.
Reached a bunch of success. But yeah, we paid back in December because he's like, okay, here are the milestones you guys should be hitting. Here's when the content's going to be dropping and stuff like that. And basically let us know that we were going to be the low men on the totem pole, which is what we wanted when, we're going into a mastermind or coaching situation. Turns out we were not the low men on the totem pole. We're the top men on the totem pole, which makes us good, strokes our egos kind of thing. But it's like, we're not really learning here. If anything, like I've just done a whole bunch of free coaching calls to a bunch of people in the group.
You've been on a lot of one-on-one consulting, for
right.
Sure.
Yes. And so it just comes back to what we bought is not what we got. There's no content yet, 3 videos. And notice how we're talking too, is we're trying to be as nice as possible. If you listen to how Jess was talking, she was like, we're not exactly telling the full picture here, but it's basically we hired this guy to help us push our business forward, like Jess said. And then his rebuttal was, because the content's not there and stuff like that, he's like, well, why don't you just like take this time to ask me questions and stuff like that, and then I could answer your questions. Well, it's like, that's not the point. Is we did not invest in a coach so that we can ask questions. We invested in a coach because we don't know the right questions to ask yet. The coach should bring those to the table, in our opinion. But of course, we never want to impose our beliefs on other people.
Yeah.
We just want to bring it back to what we bought is not what we got. And to be honest, the offer has changed. His offer has changed so much that now we don't feel comfortable sharing in his group about it. Because when we joined, we thought we were going to be the low men on the totem pole. Then, because he told us we were going to be, and then now it turns out that the people that he's taking on this next wave are people we wouldn't even take on as a client, and now we're supposed to mastermind with those people.
Right.
And so if you then look at it, so it's basically like he's going after anybody who's got a pulse that wants to make money online now. Where like our requirements are, you got to be a good person, and you've got to want to start a coaching business. Ideally, you've already made some steps. Then we're over here, like way over here, like not as an ego thing, you know what I mean? And then he's expecting us to hang out with these people. But not only that, he's asking us to share exactly what we're doing here to get these clients. Because, I mean, let's be honest, like we get very good client success. We're very proud of that.
Yes.
If you look at the people in his group, besides us and one other dude, no one else has gotten the results that he claims. Not even close. Irrefutable.
Nowhere near the timeline he set out in the beginning, too.
And to stack stuff on top of it, we've had we've had some of our clients tell us that our mentor that we invested in, that we should be able to trust, has hit them up in the DMs for coaching. And when they said, we're actually getting coached by some of your clients, and we don't meet the criteria that you're looking for this offer, he said, completely cool. Actually, don't even worry about the criteria. And so, like, of course, if we needed to show these, we can, verifiable and stuff like that. So then we're like, we can't really feel too comfortable talking about our business, knowing that, one, that our coach is just going to potentially poach our clients like he's already tried to.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if we share any problems we're facing, is he really going to give us the right information, or is he going to try to hold us back so that he could come in and go after our same audience?
Exactly. And if you can also see,
it's kind of messy, as you can see, but obviously we don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, and it's nothing personal. It's business, and it's like we want to go hard and fast and create a very successful business, and also be able to trust our mentor to lead us in the right direction, and then to not, go hit up our clients. It doesn't feel good. And
it's weak.
I think everyone could agree that doesn't feel very good. And so, as you can tell, it's messy as we're talking about it, but it takes up so much thought energy for us as well that it's like, okay, so how can we solve this? Because we want to grow our business and focus on business and have fun and, etc. So it's like, okay, let's find a new mentor that's going to solve this.
Yeah, it just takes up a lot of thought energy for us. Again, nothing against the dude. Seems like a really good dude. Have we met him in person? Nope. But that was one of the deliverables that we bought into as well, is in-person events. Like,
I know. So
those aren't on the calendar.
Like you said, it rhymed. It was so good. We didn't get what we bought.
Yeah, what we bought is not what we got.
What we bought is not what we got.
Simple.
So we are on the search for a new mentor. And I'm actually kind of excited about that.
Me too.
And it's me good just to, as you can see, not have all this thought energy going towards that.
This is a really good teaching point, though, because you guys, like, we've all gotten, I don't want to say, like, burned is too harsh of a word for this situation, but what we bought is not what we got.
There's been a bait and switch every now and then.
And everybody who's watching this has probably had the same situation, whether it's, maybe you bought some coaching or course in the past that didn't live up to the hype, or even, like, let's say that you're completely green to investing in yourself in, like, online coaching and online business stuff. Even, like, I'm sure you had to kiss a couple of frogs to get to your current guy or gal. You know what I mean? Like, and let's just go back.
Did for sure.
Yeah, like, but pulling it back to that, because we've all, been in relationships. Not all of us have maybe jumped into the online marketing pond yet, but in your relationships, is the first person that you kissed or hooked up with or had a date with, or is that the person that you're still with? Probably not, right? If you are, that's pretty cool. But most likely you aren't. And so what you could have done back then is you could have just been like, okay, I'm just going to join the nunnery, frick men, or, I'm going to become a monk, frick women, you know what I mean? 100%. It didn't work out that first time, so I'm just never going to try it again. Or you could get yourself back in the game, which is what you did. And so, like, same thing with us in hiring a coach, or we bought the courses, we've invested in ourselves in a bunch of things. And a lot of them have not lived up to the hype.
It's so true.
But it doesn't mean we stop investing in ourselves. Like, if anything, no, we just push harder.
We want to invest in ourselves even more. I will say, though, some positives that have come out of being burned or getting the bait and switch or not getting what we bought. Some of the positives have been, okay, we know how shitty this feels.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that we don't make any of our clients, our prospects, anybody feel this way in business and in life, just because it is a really shitty feeling. And so now that we understand that, just like when you invest big time for the first time, you feel the sweat on the back of the neck, like you feel the heart pumping. Now we know too, like, okay, we know what this shitty feeling feels like, so let's just be sure to not do that.
It's helped us realize our strengths and our weaknesses too. So what we've realized is to stroke our egos a little bit, but not really. We realize what really sets us apart is, we don't make as much as those other coaches. Why? It's because we actually give a shit about our clients. We actually care about client success. Like, that's where we're spending most of our time each week, is thinking, how can we make this better, faster, more efficient for our clients? And then even like with this dude that we paid 5 figures to, he has no clue where everybody is at in their journey. Not even like, pays no attention to client success. And we're like, what? We do not want to emulate that at all.
That's a very good point.
Like, since that's a very core value for us, is actually getting our clients results, then it wouldn't make sense for us to follow a mentor who's not doing that at all.
I would agree with you too. And it's so funny because you don't find out that stuff until you do invest, and then you see people's true colors once you're on the other side of the paywall. You don't really see that. But that is something, like, I know I struggle big time with, like, yes, I want to get client results and I want to make sure that we're delivering for our clients, but then the marketing gets put on the kind of back burner.
It's just like,
it's a full stop.
Full stop.
It's not even on simmer.
Right.
It's a full stop. But at the same time, it's like, can we go to sleep at night knowing that we've put out all this marketing content, all this stuff to boost us up, all of this stuff to make our business grow, but haven't helped our clients? Like, no, I don't think we could sleep well and wake up feeling good the next day doing something like that. And so it goes back to values too. And that's part of the mentor search. Like, do you share our values? Because our values are really important to us.
Yeah. Put in perspective, the last 2 weeks, I didn't do any marketing. All my time was spent on refining our program.
That's all he was doing.
/ going back to all of our past clients, seeing who were our favorite to work with, / also the people that got really good results, like the best results. We're like, how can we make it so that we get more of these clients? So that's like, an attraction thing for us, speaking to those people, but then also just dialing in the phrase is activation points. I know it's like a marketing term or whatever, but what activation points are, it's like, here's the starting point. For our ideal client right now, it's people making under $5,000 a month in their coaching business. And the end point, the result that they want to get, is consistent $10,000 plus months as quickly as possible. And then activation points are essentially the milestones that have to happen along the journey.
Yeah.
So just getting really clear on what are those activation points that need to happen, and then putting in place mechanisms which are either automated through like course content or stuff that isn't automated, like special calls with Jess and I, where we get intimate and we fix a little thing or we vet something. It's really fun to do. It's exhausting.
He loves it. It's like a big math equation for him.
It's so fun. Anyone who's worked with us
sees, he loves to do this.
Yeah, it's just like, we're just trying to turn it into an assembly line that's fun. It's a good experience as well.
Yeah, and so...
And our coach right now doesn't look at that at all. And so we're like, if we share what we're doing right here, then he's got more clout than us. He's got way deeper pockets. He could just like rip the whole thing off. And
that's not fair because of all the time and energy that you put in to figure out these details. Like,
but
that is all of your time, money, and energy, resources. Like, all of it is going towards this. And so it's like, why share that with somebody who doesn't value the same thing either? And
you guys could, make the case where it's like, oh, he probably won't do that. Well, it's like, okay, well, we also thought he wouldn't go after our clients behind our back too. You know what I mean? So we're just going to...
We've hit a little rough patch with the mentor situation.
It's all good. We didn't have one last year for business-wise, did we?
No, we searched and searched and searched. And so we were very excited to find someone we thought had similar values. But you live, you learn, you get past the paywall, you see true colors, and you're like, okay, time to move on.
Which is so funny because he's doing another launch right now, and like one of the people that it looks like he's going to take on, it's like, oh my gosh, like your free content's so good. I could only imagine what your paid content is like. It's like, dude, if you only knew, he puts out more free content. His free content is better than his paid content.
It's true.
I hope we didn't seem too salty on this. We're just trying to give you the real in like the most rose-colored glasses way.
Well, and maybe even not with the. I don't think rose-colored glasses is the most important part. I think it's strictly business. We are looking for a mentor, and you watching this video, maybe you're in the process of looking for a mentor, and so it's just how we're going through that. We've invested in one that we are not stoked on any longer, just because they didn't give us what we bought, and so now we're in the process of looking for a new one, and I think that's okay. Like, that's not a bad thing. It's part of the journey. And yeah,
Just trying to be honest about it.
yeah, and we're trying to be honest about it. Like, we go through the mud too. Like, black and white, we go through the mud too.
Should we talk about the third thing we wanted to talk about?
Yes, starting lifestyle vlogs. All right.
Hey guys, we're back. Sorry, we ran out of juice. We were having too much fun with you guys. I'm gonna grab a little throat lozenge just because like I'm feeling a little sick.
Little rundown from the week, Jay. But you're getting better, right?
Just trying to hang with this girl on the cocktails on the weekend.
Well, speaking of cocktails on the weekend, next topic that we are going to cover is starting lifestyle vlogs, which I'm super amped about. And so I'll just give a little intro to how this all began.
Please.
Okay, so this morning was at the gym, got home from the gym, Jay walks in, and I dropped a bomb on him and said, hey, I'm super excited about starting lifestyle vlogs. What do you think? And he was excited for me, which was great. So I've been kind of teetering with this idea of starting lifestyle vlogs for a while, but I don't have any experience on YouTube doing YouTube vlogs. Okay.
She was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing some lifestyle vlogs, you know, like, what do you think? I'm like, that's great. You know, I would love to have a personal filmer.
Well, that's like what it would be. It would be so
No, I'm
fun
just
for
kidding.
me.
No, it's
Kinda.
it would be from your perspective, and I wasn't thinking that. I was just making a
Yes, you were,
dumb
don't you
joke.
lie.
But you came to me and you're like, you're doing your hair, and I was walking in before brunch, and it's like, hey, I'm fired up on doing this. What do you think? Like, fuck yeah! Like, excuse my French. That's why you should do anything. It's because you're fired up for it. And then let's keep taking a walk down memory lane.
Yeah, so also when you see Jay fired up off of like a first Try Friday idea, you know that like, okay, this is a good idea. And so I love that reassurance too, just because he's the logic, he's the strategy, he's very good at being structured, whereas I'm like, this sounds like a great idea, you know, a little bit more in flow. I need a little structure and logic added to it because maybe you can relate. I want to try to do all the things. However, that's not how life works.
Yeah, and with me, I need a little bit more flow sometimes. Like if you're a dude watching this, you're probably pretty good at the structure, right? And then if you're a woman watching this, you're probably really good at the flow, but then you need a little bit more structure. So it's cool how, you know, we kind of complement each other.
I think so too. We have a really cool dynamic. So when you gave me like that face and smile of awesome, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to talk some more about this and tell you my ideas. And so I basically had told him, look, I've been watching a lot of different lifestyle vlogs, and there's so much missing, especially from like the female lifestyle vlogs that I watch. And he's like, okay, so, well, maybe you would want to say this part, but okay, so like, how would you do this? You know, starts asking me the good questions.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a lot of experience in doing YouTube. Let's just start with that preface. Lifestyle vlogs, all the things.
Out of the two of us, a little bit more, not too much on lifestyle vlogs, to be honest, more so behind the scenes for some bigger YouTubers. But in terms of lifestyle vlogs, yeah, I shot over 20 lifestyle vlogs within 30 days, just like learned it really, really fast.
Yes.
Did okay, got 2,000 subs in a month, but then sold a product at the end of it that had nothing to do with lifestyle and made like 5 figures from that. So pretty cool.
He has some experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the reason I stopped doing it was because I just felt guilty. I'm just showing my life. Like, I'm not Kim Kardashian. Like, this is kind of...
You're not?
Yeah. And
That's weird.
You just feel weird. It's like, like, who am I to just film myself? And so I stopped doing it. And then Jess brings to the table, and I've been wanting to start one up since then, but then as a business owner, and maybe you guys could relate as a business owner, this is both Jess and I, we wanted to start one for a really long time, but we felt guilty because we're like, if we wanted to do it right, we'd probably need to do 1 day of editing. Okay, so all of a sudden our 5-day work week is now a 4-day work week. Okay, that's going to probably affect the business a little bit. Then we got to factor in filming for it. Okay, maybe slice off another day or half day out of the week. And then it's like now we're working with a 3-day work week. It's going to be kind of hard to compete with people in our industry. And so then we just put it on the back burner. But you brought the renewed stoke on it. And so maybe we just keep talking out how we're going to approach it.
Yeah, so because I saw that there's so many holes in female vlogging.
Can you explain what you think those holes are? Because I think a lot of people might relate, or they'll be like, oh, I totally agree with you.
Great question. Yeah, so here's the holes that I've been seeing on my research of watching all the female vlogs I've been watching is the ones that are so heavily lifestyle. It's just like, look how awesome I am. Look at the highlight reel. You know, there's no like real life. This is like real life. There's no lows, there's no struggle, there's no nothing, which is totally cool.
And then what about the super businessy lifestyle vlogs?
The super businessy style vlogs are, there's no flow to them really. There's no like, what are they doing all this hard work for? Like, where's that, you know, treat? Is it to build their business even more maybe, or is it to have that lifestyle? And so there's this uneven, there's like this balance that's not happening between business vlogs versus lifestyle vlogs. And there's also a lot of empty space in between. And so
it's a lot of influencer business owner vlogs who's like, oh, hey, just woke up. It's 9 a.m. Get my Avo toast. And it's like, yeah, I'm running my business on Shopify. It's like, great, buy my stuff.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up too.
Okay, that's cool, but
the other part of the business thing is sorry, there's a big helicopter going by. Very low to the ground. I'm just gonna see if it passes us before I continue talking. Okay, it's off in the distance.
If we could, can I just pull it back for a second?
Oh yeah, I would love
to.
So,
passion first. But then you got to figure out like reason. Like why do I want to do this? Before we go into like market research, why do I want to do this? And so the reasons to do a lifestyle vlog, like we talked about earlier, is you can just keep it really, 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 really unadulterated. I guess the good word, where it's just pure documentation, documenting your lifestyle and your life. Really cool. The problem with that is if you're starting off with not a big audience, no clout, you're not going to get many views on it. But if your main goal is to just document in an unadulterated way, cool, make some lifestyle vlogs because it's going to make you feel good. It's not going to help your business much, maybe 5 years down the road, but it'll feel good. Or you can have lifestyle vlogs that are keyworded, where you're being a little bit more strategic, and then you start to taint it a little bit.
Totally.
And that's where you could run into issues. Like at least we've seen that with people where you can just tell from the title and the thumbnail, they're just like keyword stuffing it, or they're making a video that they're doing stuff in it that they wouldn't do on the normal day to day.
It's like not real life.
But they get clicks from it, and it's technically a lifestyle vlog as well. So then you gotta kind of decide, do I want to just document and just keep it as unadulterated as possible? Do I want to document and just document those good times? Or do I want to document it in a lifestyle-y way and get the click? Do I want to document it and also involve my business as well and show the BTS of that? Gotta factor in the spectrum.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not totally fleshed out yet, but of course now, like the wheels are turning and we're thinking about this because I'm very serious about this.
Yeah, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, and so I think the way that I would want to do it is I wouldn't want to start with keywording. And we kind of came to this conclusion too, because yes, I would want to do some tutorials, how-tos, talking head style videos, which can be keyworded, you know, that's totally fine. But to keep the vlog as, I hate to use the word authentic, but like as unadulterated as possible, because part of what gets me very excited is showing the warts and all. It's not just saying, look at how awesome our life is, because yes, I think we have a beautiful life, amazing, but there are ups and downs like any normal in the relationship, in the business, in the lifestyle, all these things. And so I think it'd be really cool to show that as a business owner, as working with my SO as a couple building a business together, but then also still enjoying life together. And so I think it'd be really cool to show all the pieces.
And so it would be, but then just playing devil's advocate on it.
He's so good at devil's advocate.
If you are showing the highs and lows of your business, that could put your business at risk.
Agreed.
It really can, especially if you're having it be very close to the current timeline. So for example, let's say that you run a manifestation coaching business, and for whatever reason, like your clients aren't getting results, or you had a really bad launch. You know what I mean? Do you want to talk about that in that week's video? Because then that pulls your street cred down. Then the people who were maybe thinking about investing with you might get cold feet and be like, oh, well, like she only got 2 clients this month. Like, is she really that good? Oh, maybe I'm not going to invest with her.
Right.
And then you could just show your cards too. Your competition could watch and be like,
I know what they're doing.
yeah.
That's such a good point too. But something that in our mini kind of brainstorm at brunch this morning that we were talking about as we were kind of sifting through it all is, okay, I'm naturally more lifestyle heavy. If you've watched us before, you know I love lifestyle. You are naturally more business focused, and we get stoked on these two things.
Yeah, and we're stoked on both too. But yeah, if you were to like, it's not a yin and yang. It's just like Jess is more on the lifestyle edge of things. I'm maybe a little bit more on the business side of things.
100%. And we've even mentioned, if you go and watch I think it's our first podcast, how we're going to be phasing me more into lifestyle and doing lifestyle things. And so it's natural that, of course, I'm going to be a little bit more lifestyle heavy. You're going to be a little bit more business heavy. But it also was kind of cool, the idea of, okay, cool. So I can start these vlogs and be more lifestyle heavy, which I naturally am, and stay maybe just a tad bit more surface level on the business. And then, a couple months when you're ready to start your vlog, also really cool, female perspective, male perspective. But then, because you do want to start a vlog.
I've been wanting to, yeah, but like we've been saying, we just feel guilty because it's like, well, the way I'd want to do them is I'd want to spend a day per week on them, and then all of a sudden you're working with a 4-day work week.
Exactly. And something we were kind of talking about was you starting yours a couple months down the road where it would show more of the business.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about that.
Yeah.
So what Jess is, maybe this kind of video is helping you think out how you would do a lifestyle vlog in the future.
Again, messy. This is kind of a messy video, but it's fun.
So the way that Jess is kind of thinking about it as of right now is showing a BTS on what our day-to-day / week-to-week life is like, and showing the BTS of stuff, but not so much the business strategy side of things.
Exactly.
But just showing how stuff is going. Like, so today, you filmed, like, maybe you doing your hair or something this morning?
Yeah, filmed the whole post-gym, ready for brunch, explaining what the day was going to look like, and then
Cool.
a little bit of brunch, and then got home, and just some fun banter we had back and forth about swimsuit shopping, very random, but then also then we did, podcasting, showing that kind of BTS, and so
What we're doing right now.
what we're doing right now. And so there was a storyline planned for, my first day of filming. I knew what we were going to be doing, but it's not going to be like, okay, here's the business strategy we are going with for this week. You're not going to hear about that in the vlog.
Yeah, and this is so cool too. Like, a credit to her is I had no clue about any of this. She's just been whipping out the camera, which is so great. It's like a loose structure, I guess, is where you're thinking about it.
This is how I best design storylines that I can keep up with. I know we're very routine oriented, so I know
Our routine is sick though on Sundays.
I think Sundays, Thursdays, Saturdays, I think our routine is so dialed. But then the cool thing is, our whole routine is dialed, but Sunday, Thursdays, and Saturdays specifically, it's a great balance of biz and lifestyle every single week, which is awesome. But then the cool thing is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, like business structure is there, but that's kind of like the free flow. Like, some events pop in and out.
There's so much free flow.
Yeah, there's
too.
so much more wiggle room. And so it's like, okay, I know the routine. I can plan out the storyline. And then as things come up, I can insert them into the outline. And then I can control where the camera goes and show that storyline.
Yeah, so to kind of like zoom it out, it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, so for Jess, her vlogs are going to be way more lifestyle focused. And the best way to do those is just like maybe on Sunday or on Saturday, before the week starts, or even you do it Saturday or Sunday morning, you figure out what the week's going to look like. Cool. Then you can look at your calendar and be thinking, okay, maybe I want to get like 5 different scenes from the week or 10 different scenes. And then it's like, okay, maybe I get 3 today, maybe I get 2 this day. And then of course, Friday and Saturday, you'll probably get some sick lifestyle. So maybe you'll get like 1 or 2 scenes there. Then all of a sudden, just from looking at your week, looking at your calendar, the vlog's already kind of created itself. And so then you can kind of go into it without much angst and just shoot it, have it be free flow. And of course, you're going to pick up some gold along the way. Like you picked up like a funny little interaction of us talking about bikini bottoms. I got very opinionated about that. But that might be a good way for you guys to do it. And so what we were talking about with Jess is we don't want her editing them just because editing can take such a long time. And that's the thing, is you got to ask yourself, do you want to edit? Because the pro of editing is you're able to keep the story as unadulterated as possible and just throw in your 2 cents, maybe do like a nice voiceover or whatever. Or you can get an editor where, yes, you will lose a little bit of the feeling and the essence of that vlog, but it also forces you to just be very aware of your shooting and get the better shots real time instead of being like, oh, you just fix it in post. It forces you to be a better camera person.
Yep.
And then also it keeps it fun and fresh because then you can just make sure you stay organized throughout the week and maybe just clip off like little pieces if you want, and then send your editor the clips and be like, hey, here's the basic flow of it. Here's the music I like. Here's the template that I like.
Yeah.
And then cool, like instead of spending a whole day editing, you're already shooting your next video.
Efficiency, baby.
Efficiency, yeah. So I think that's what we'll be aiming for with you, kind of high level.
The editor in mind as you're shooting. The editor is in mind.
Or yeah, shoot with the edit in mind.
Yes.
Or editor. For me, I like to think shoot with the edit in mind.
Yeah, in my mind, what I just said was I'm going to be passing this to somebody else, and so I have to make sure that is very clear.
Yeah, shoot with the editor in mind, shoot with the edit in mind for sure. Yeah, and so that, like, if you're shooting with the edit in mind, for the most part, it's really hard to, or it just adds so much complexity to the workflow if you do want to do voiceovers. So just think, you know what, I guess I can't really do voiceovers if I want to be really streamlined with this workflow. So then try to say what you're feeling real time when you're shooting.
Yeah.
And it's going to make things kind of uncomfortable, but also kind of real. And then you'll just get into the flow of that and just like, okay, here, like for example, it's like, here we are at breakfast this morning. I'm freezing my dick off. Or you're freezing my girly parts
This
off.
is like literally how he talks too. Like capturing how we talk, like mannerisms, all these things. I think it'd be so cool just to give context to like who if you decide you want to work with us or you like following our content online or like whatever it is, like you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. So it's gonna be cool seeing you do it because it's, for the most part, I'm just envisioning you just being kind of streaming, like have the structure for the week. So that's going to give you some confidence and some relief on how the week's going to play out. And then you could just kind of shoot it, stream of consciousness, and it's going to force you to just live in the moment and be like, okay, if I want to make sure I'm capturing the scene correctly, not for the views, but just for capturing the experience, it's like, how do I factor in all the senses? You know what I mean? What does this taste like? What does it feel like? Am I cold right now? Like, and then emotionally, how am I feeling? Am I a little angsty and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is there like wind in my hair? Is there a beautiful dog? Like, encapsulate the scene. Who's sitting next to me? Do they smell? Are they fun? Is there a neighbor coming by? Like, you know what I mean?
All
like,
the fun stuff.
How can I just bring it all in? So I think that's going to be cool with you.
I think so too, but I don't want to miss out on talking about your vlog, that how we talked about your vlog would be coming up to touch more on business.
Yeah, we're thinking about this and we're just throwing around the idea.
All this is like, well, not all of it, but a lot of it's kind of up in the air. You're seeing the messy stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to do like a beautiful, unadulterated vlog, lifestyle vlog, that's kind of how we would suggest to do it. Where you want to have in like, not just the really pretty ones where like, those are cool vlogs where you could watch them and you just like relax and it's like escaping for 10 minutes, but it is cool to have like the little imperfections too. Like, I mean, this is the beauty of imperfections. We just got some coasters right here.
New house item.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a house tour soon, by the way.
Each item will look a little different from the next, therefore no 2 items are alike. Life is not perfect, and neither is handcrafted. Well,
Vlogs will be handcrafted.
Yeah. And so if you're thinking about doing a full-on lifestyle vlog with documenting it in the most unadulterated way, do it maybe Jess style, where just figure out your week, and that will like dictate what you're shooting for the week. And you're going to get some gold in there factor in all the senses, who's around you, how you're feeling as you're shooting it real time. Send it to an editor, you're kind of good. On the other end of the spectrum, if you wanted to do like a business vlog that depicts like it's like a documentary essentially of the come up to scale, because it's like how cool would it be if like Jeff Bezos or like any big swinging dick or chick documented their come up from the get-go, because hindsight's like 2020
Always.
you know what I mean? But how cool would it have been if they showed like the gnarly come up as well.
Yeah, it's so true.
Now if you were to document weekly in a vlog like that and show warts and all the business, it could open you up to, it would hurt your business. I don't see how it could not hurt your business.
Yep.
Your competition can see exactly what you're doing. You're showing warts and all. You're showing your stuff's not completely perfect. You're showing your insecurities. But we think we found a solution on how to do a badass business lifestyle vlog in the most unadulterated way. It's to document it real time as vulnerably as possible, kind of like how Jess is going to be shooting hers, but then not releasing it for at least a month. That way you can capture exactly how you guys were feeling, what exactly was happening in the moment in the most unadulterated way. Not thinking about thumbnails or views either on this. Yeah.
But I think...
And then release it like a month or two later, and then people are like, fuck, this is real, because there's no one doing that.
Even just sharing what you just said, the lag time for when the episode drops, you know, because so many times, how many times have we been watching vlogs or whatever, and we're like, I wonder what their lag time is. Like, how often, like, how quick from shooting are they dropping? And so that's, I think it's so cool for you guys to hear. Lag time is okay.
Well, it's actually great. It allows you to be way more vulnerable and real. Because think about, say, like you get out of a breakup or like something bad happens, time heals all wounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you add some time to it, you're able to distance yourself from it. Then you're kind of like cool with it. Like maybe it was a shitty situation, but it's like, I own it now. Then you can drop it maybe in a vlog a month or two later. The issue is then getting that vlog done. Because if you're thinking, if there's no pressure to get it done that next week, you can easily just shoot it and then be like, oh, I could finish it up in a month, and then it'll never get done.
I'll be your accountability person on that, since I'll be dropping the vlogs beforehand. Be like, hey, it's going to be your week coming up. Drop it, baby.
That's kind of fun talking it out.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very long podcast, I guess.
I know. I hope you guys enjoyed it, though. I think that we'll have it more fleshed out as the days go on and as the first week of filming happens.
Sorry for crunching, too, during this. Just had like a little cough in my throat.
I'm glad you fixed it. Those actually smell really good. I thought the cherry was going to be a bad call. Great work. Is that all we got?
Yeah, you want to tie a bow on it? Like,
Yeah.
so where are your thoughts now on, so you're shooting a vlog this week?
Be shooting the first vlog this week, and it's going to be more of a week in the life, just because this week is kind of abnormally busy. You know, like we have a lot of things happening, so lots of things to document, which I'm excited about, because again, I'm excited to document and capture the memories. I think it's really important.
So it's basically, the whole idea is just day in, or week in life, I
Week
guess.
in the life.
Is there like
As of
a
now.
overall theme that all these could go under, maybe?
Yeah, good question. Stay tuned. I'll probably have a more fleshed out idea of what that theme is. As of right now, it's female entrepreneur working with her SO. It's business lifestyle vlog. You know, it'll be more condensed and much more refined, but we're talking it out and it's messy as frick, so bear with me.
Cool. That's all I got from my end.
Me too. All right, guys.
Thanks for
Thanks
hanging
for
with us.
watching all the way to the end.